سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا وفقها في الدين يا رب العالمين وألحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. We continue inshallah on the chapter of marriage on the book Targheeb wa Tarheeb. This is our third lesson inshallah. And we done the hadith regarding whoever can support a wife, a family, he must immediately get married, for it indeed it protects the eyes and the gaze and also his private parts. And whoever is not able to do so, he should try to weaken himself with eating as less as possible. A married man, generally speaking, he will be able to put his gaze down. It will be easier for him to protect his private parts. And this is why in the hadith it is mentioned that an-nikahu shatrul iman, that marriage is half of faith, meaning half of your faith regarding that which, so if we take half of faith to be your tongue and the other half to be your, so the tongue, that which goes through your tongue, that which comes out of your tongue, and the other half would be regarding your private parts. If you can protect one side, and you can lower your gaze through that, and that avenue is closed, then the only other avenue left is your tongue. Okay, those two, if you protect, then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam guarantees a person Jannah. Then we go on to the next hadith, and then we spoke about a shab. Who is a shab? A shab is a person that gains the age of puberty. From the age of puberty until Imam Shafi'i says until he reaches the age of 30. Until the age of 30, he's a youth, meaning his peak youth is from the age of between 13 and 30. After 30, everything goes into a decline. Okay, everyone starts going to a decline. You start feeling the aches and pains. You know, your health changes, your brain changes, your mind changes, your metabolism changes, everything starts to change. So therefore, a person should get married before this age, because Rasulullah is addressing the shabab, ya ma'shar al-shabab, or the assembly of youth. So youth is between the age of 13 and 30, inshallah. So one must try to get married within this age. وعن أبي أيوب رضي الله عنه تعالى قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أربع من سنن المرسلين الحناء والتعطر والسواك والنكاح وقال بعض الرواة الحياء بالياء رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن غريب. Here Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu, he reports 4 things which are from the sunan, from the practice, from the constant practice of all the messengers that were sent in all of history. What are they? Number 1, hinna. Hinna is mendi, to put mendi on, okay, whether it's on the head, on the hair, or on the beard. Just like it is sunnah for women can also use henna, it is sunnah for them. Likewise, men can also use it. Rasulullah used to use henna for his head. Number 2, ta'attur, perfuming yourself. Perfuming yourself, again, Rasulullah never refused perfume, never ever refused perfume. So this is again another very important aspect of our religion, that odor must not affect others, especially right now in summer where a person is excessively sweating. So you must make sure that your clothes are not smelling. You must make sure that you have a shower every day, and you must make sure that you are smelling great, because Rasulullah used to smell great naturally, as well as he used to perfume himself on top of that. Okay? And number 3 is siwak, miswak. To use the miswak daily is definitely a sunnah, and Rasulullah used to use it 5 times a day. Okay, when he used to wake up, he used to, for every single prayer as well, he used to use it. He used to always have a miswak all the time. And the 4th one mentioned here is nikah. Nikah, to get married. So, al-hinna. Hinna is to look nice, to look beautiful, to look smart. Number 2, to smell good. Number 3, to keep your teeth clean, okay, shining. And number 4, to get married. If you got all these 4, then alhamdulillah. You know, you're practicing upon the sunnah of all the anbiya alayhimus salam, all the prophets that came. And some of the narrators, they said instead of the hinna, instead of using hinna, they said al-haya. Okay, al-haya. So haya, if it is regarding haya instead of henna, then it would mean modesty. that all of them used to practice modesty. Then we go on to the next hadith. وعن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله تعالى عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الدنيا متاع وخير متاعها المرأة الصالحة رواه مسلم والنسائي وابن ماجه. This hadith on the authority of Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, this dunya is like an enjoyment, is a short time of temporary enjoyment. Okay? And the best type of enjoyment is a woman that is pious, a pious woman that you get married to. Why? Because she aids you for your salah. She aids you for you to fast Mondays and Thursdays. She aids you to help you to do the sunnah acts, the nafal acts, the fard acts, and to keep you in line. This is the main thing, to keep you in line. Because sometimes, even as men, we fall off. Although we are meant to be strong, sometimes we fall off. Many times we fall off. And this is the type of insan we are. So therefore, if a woman is there to, every time you fall, she pushes you back into line. Every time you miss a tahajjud, she splatters water on your face. This is the best woman. Okay? Rawahu Muslim on Nasa'i wa Ibn Majah. So the best type of enjoyment in this dunya is a woman that helps you in your religious duties. وعنه رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله, because marriage sometimes is a huge, colossal effect in a man's life. Sometimes if the woman is extremely irreligious, then it becomes a massive problem for the man to stay inside that marriage. Okay? Of course, she doesn't become kafir according to the majority of the scholars. Although there is an opinion where if a person continuously, intentionally misses a fard salah continuously, then that person is out of the fold of Islam. Whereas majority of the scholars don't take the opinion. It is a Hanbali opinion, okay? But the rest of the madhabs, Maliki madhab, the Shafi'i madhab, and the Hanafi madhab, they make it clear that a person who misses salah, as long as he believes that salah is fard, he's still a Muslim. He's still a Muslim. He doesn't become a non-Muslim. Okay, even though he couldn't pray because of laziness or because of negligence or because of whatever reason, But it is extremely important that she prays as well as you pray, because if you both don't pray, then this match will become problematic. In the future, for the long run, when you have children, it's going to become a disaster. It's going to become an absolute disaster. So she needs to aid you, you need to aid her. It's two in one. You have to help each other. You have to help each other. This is a teamwork. Okay? Every time she falls, you help her. Every time you fall, every day in a marriage is very complicated. Each person's situation is very complicated. Sometimes you have, on one day, she's not feeling up to 100%. You have to give your 80% on that day, if she can give only 20%. The day that she can give 80%, maybe you're not feeling up to the same standards. You're going to give 20%, she's going to give her 80%, if she's a good wife. So this is how a marriage works. Don't expect too much. That's the best thing. Rasulullah was always independent. In fact, it is makruh. In the Hanafi madhab, it is makruh to take assistance for wudu water. It's mentioned inside the Hanafi books, Nurul Ida. Those who study Nurul Ida, inside Nurul Ida it mentions to take assistance for water during wudu is makruh. So you shouldn't try to take assistance from other people anyway. This shouldn't be the quality of a Muslim. You should try to be independent. You should try to do everything yourself. You shouldn't depend on others. So, yes. وعنه رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الدنيا متاع ومن خير متاعها امرأة تعين على زوجها على الآخرة. This makes it even more clear, this hadith. So on the same authority of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, one of those who conquered, Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him and his son, both of them were Sahabi. He was the one that conquered Constantinople, or was it Egypt? I think it was Egypt. Amr ibn al-As radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Imra'at, so he says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, this dunya is mata', is a short time of enjoyment. Okay? And the best type of enjoyment is a woman who helps her husband towards the akhirah, towards the deeds of akhirah. Because dunya, she can help you only to a limited circumstance. Maybe with the kids, maybe with some food, maybe with some cleaning, maybe with some family chores. But the best type of woman is the one that helps you towards your akhirah. She makes you always keep you in line on your deen. Your deen comes first before your dunya. House, sometimes it gets messy. Kids are kids. They're going to cause a mess. And what? You can't get angry. As a father, you must understand. Sometimes woman has a life as well. She also has her weaknesses. She also, some days she's lazy. So it's not correct for a man to always rebuke and always tell off her. End of the day, you must understand that this is someone else's daughter. Would you like your daughter to be treated that way if she goes into a marriage with another man? No, never. So this is very important. So this hadith makes it very clear that she helps her husband towards the deeds of akhirah. She wants you to get akhirah. She pushes you towards the masjid. You must go to the masjid, whether you like it or not. So this is the real woman. Miskina, imra'atun la zawja laha. And miskinun rajulun la imra'ata lahu. I think I spoke about this in the last lecture, inshallah. We'll go to the next hadith. This is reported in Razim. وعن أبي أمامة رضي الله تعالى عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه كان يقول ما استفاد المؤمن بعد تقوى الله عز وجل خير له من زوجة صالحة إن أمرها أطاعته وإن نظر إليها سرته وإن أقسم عليها أبرته سبحان الله وإن غاب عنها نصحته في نفسها وماله رواه ابن ماجه. Here Abu Umama رضي الله تعالى عنه, he says, he heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, a believer did not benefit after the taqwa of Allah. So taqwa of Allah comes first. Without the taqwa of Allah, a person can do anything. He's limitless. He doesn't have any consciousness of his mind because he doesn't have the fear of Allah. He can have girlfriends, he can go and drink, he can go and commit zina, he can do whatever he feels like. There's no limits to his deen. Okay, taqwa comes first, always comes first. He can miss salah without even thinking twice. Whereas we are Muslimin, we submitted to the laws of Allah, we submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in totality. So therefore, mastafad al-mu'minu ba'da taqwa Allah. So first comes taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then secondly, the best thing is azza wa jal, khayran lahu min zawjatin salihah. After the taqwa of Allah, the best thing is a pious and righteous woman. Pious and righteous woman. In amaraha, if he orders her, that's the literal meaning. If he orders her, she obeys him. She doesn't start debating and arguing. This is very rare. This is very rare. This is when a man orders her to do any type of good. Of course, لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. She cannot obey him in things which goes against and contravenes the laws of Allah and Rasulullah. She cannot obey him when it comes to, even if mom and dad say something and it goes against the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not allowed to follow. You do it kindly, you do it nicely, you do it politely, but you're not allowed to follow it because it goes against the deen of Allah. Your deen of Allah comes first. Allah comes first, Rasul comes first, then your mom and dad, then your wife in it. Here, so when he orders her, she immediately obeys him. وَإِن نَظَرَ إِلَيْهَا سَرَّتْهُ. When he looks at her, he becomes pleased automatically. Why? Because she's already dressed up for him, specifically for him, not to go to work with a full face of makeup. No. This is completely wrong. She dresses up for him. Do you understand? She makes herself appealing to him. This is what is required. وَإِن نَظَرَ إِلَيْهَا سَرَّتْهُ وَإِنْ أَقْسَمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ أَبَرَّتْهُ. And if he makes an oath, she fulfills it. If he makes an oath, she fulfills it. And the last condition here, وَإِنْ غَابَ عَنْهَا. If he is absent, he goes away, he's on a trip, then نَصَحَتْهُ فِي نَفْسِهِ وَمَالِهَا. She keeps herself preserved, she keeps herself protected, she's loyal. She does not step out of the house. She does not step out of the house, she keeps herself protected. Loyalty comes first. And she protects his wealth. She doesn't squander his wealth. She doesn't waste his wealth. So these are the requirements of a good wife according to the Sharia and according to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنهما أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: أربع من أعطيهن فقد أعطي خير الدنيا والآخرة 4 things. If you are given these 4 things, then you have the best in this world and in the akhirah. What are these 4 things? Qalban Shakira. I'm sure everyone's heard the nasheed. Qalban Shakira, a heart which is thankful, grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. And this is the state of a Muslim. The state of the Muslim is you are thankful in every single moment of your life. Whether you're going through depression, whether you're going through stress, whether you're going through family issues, whether you're going through financial issues, shukr must not go out of your mind. Shukr, that's why people who are addicted, yeah, they go through the addiction through haram means. What do we do as Muslims? We go straight to prayer. That's the order of Rasulullah. Whenever we go through a phase where we're going through a lot of pressure, work pressure, family pressure, financial pressure, what do? Go straight to Salah. Who said it? Rasulullah said it. Go straight to Salah. Why? Go cry to Allah. Automatically you'll see He'll lower your burden. It might not go away instantly, but it will lower. At least you have someone to cry to. Don't cry to someone to dunya. Not required. This is not recommended. Go and cry to the Lord of the person that's put you in that situation. Okay? So, what are these? Qalban Shakira, a heart which is always thankful. Always thankful. A tongue which is always remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Making the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. Oh, I've seen brothers in Morocco, I remember. Always Bismillah. Always Bismillah. From that time I understood what Bismillah means. Every single instance, anything he was doing, Bismillah. Drink, Bismillah. Even giving something to, like he was a shopkeeper, giving an item, Bismillah. Receiving an item, Bismillah. Everything, Bismillah. Then I understood this is the actual practice of Rasulullah. This is the actual practice of Bismillah. We don't understand what Bismillah is because it's not on our tongues. And then whenever he makes dua for you, immediately say Allahumma ghfir lil walidain. All the time. Subhanallah, I was amazed. And it's all of them. It's not just 1 or 2 of them. In Fairs, I remember his older brothers. Allahumma ghfir lil walidain. Allah, forgive your parents. All the time, every time. It's like a dua that they give you constantly. All the time, every time. Even in the marketplaces you go, they'll always give you that same dua. It's nice to go and see. You'll see automatically in Arab countries, there's a rahmah in the people because of deen. It's an ingrained thing that you're born with. Here, if you're continuously seeing naked women, what's going to happen to your deen? What's going to happen to your eyes? Automatically, you're going to be destroyed mentally. Psychologically, you're already half destroyed. You don't know how destroyed you are. And this is our case on social media, unfortunately. This is the reality. That's why we can't become walis. How are we going to become walis? We need to go to the farming sheep like my father-in-law in Rochdale. Anyway, so qalban shakira, a heart which is grateful, a tongue which always remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, dhikr. And badanan ala al-bala'i sabira. Whenever you go through any difficulties of your body, somebody's got cancer, somebody's got whichever ailments you have, diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure, so many issues nowadays, you make sabr in those cases. You make sabr in these difficult cases where you are going through hardship in, like the people of Gaza right now. They're going through the most difficult time in human history, probably, most likely, right now, as we can see on live TV. So this is the greatest form of shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the hardest time, you never give up faith. And you never ever give up faith. In fact, it increases them in faith even more. And this is clear sign of iman. Clear sign of iman. وَزَوْجَةً, the 4th one is the one that's regarding our chapter. وَزَوْجَةً لَا تَبْغِيهِ حَوْبًا فِي نَفْسِهَا وَمَالِهِ. And a wife who is not treacherous concerning herself and her husband's property. Okay, a wife who is loyal. A wife who is loyal to her husband even when he's away, even when he's not there, even when he's gone to work, whenever, whichever place, wherever she is, she always makes herself protected, safeguards herself first, because we know al-mar'a is mata', is an enjoyment of this dunya automatically. So therefore they have to be preserved. They have to be preserved. If you don't protect your wives, automatically you're opening the doors to shaitan. Okay? Shaitan immediately allures, because automatically they have something called beauty. And that beauty attracts the opposite gender. You don't know what's going to happen inside the workplace. Nowadays, workplace is very dangerous. A person thinks a workplace is just a workplace. No, sometimes they're going out for meetings. You don't know what meetings they are. You know, very dangerous. Staff room is open all the time. So it's very important that they go into a zone. If they want to work, they should go into a zone where it's only women, for example. Go to a job where there's only, like, for example, primary school or something. Most of the time, it's just women there. So in those scenarios, it's okay. But now when you go into a mixed scenario, she sees other things. She's open to other things. You're open to other things. You're continuously seeing other women. You understand? Even a married man becomes a fattan. It becomes fitna upon a married man as well. So it's very dangerous. You have to protect yourself. She has to protect herself. Okay? This is one of the best qualities of a woman, that if she protects herself and she protects the husband's wealth. The most important thing to a man is his money. So if the money is being protected and not being squandered, then at the end of the week, alhamdulillah, the husband is happy. Okay? So this is the best type of woman according to Deen, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.